travelers, welcome to the Seychelles. Today is our first full day in the Seychelles. We are on the island of Praslin and we are going on a full day tour today.
We have just met up with our boat for a full day tour of Curieuse Island.
I don't know if this is going to be a popular opinion, but so far Seychelles beats the Maldives for pure scenery. So we're on Curieuse Island. This is where you'll find a lot of the giant tortoises that the Seychelles are famous for. They are protected here. The island's uninhabited except for a few rangers that take care of the conservation of the tortoises and such. This used to be a leper colony. It closed in the 1960s, so there's still a few ruins from that, and also a preserved doctor's house, which I'm not sure where that is from here, but also just fantastic scenery and the giant tortoises, and I'm super excited.
From what we were told, most of the tortoises stay inland a little bit in the shade, but there's one that's come out here right to the beach. So cool. They move a lot faster than I thought they would, and they are definitely hungry and want you to give them some leaves. So they will come right up to you.
So these are actually Aldabra tortoises, or Aldabra, whatever. They were actually repositioned to Curieuse Island from the island of Aldabra. They were almost extinct. The explorers and colonizers came and they were a pretty easy source of meat, so they almost killed them off. But they are protected here, so they're allowed to just flourish.
The tortoises are very comfortable with visitors on the island and love to be fed. The guides gave us some leaves that the tortoises naturally eat so we could feed them.
Oh my god, I love it. They're making noises? So the Seychelles is famous for the world's largest seed or nut. It's called the Coco de mer, and it's famous because it resembles a lady's backside. You'll see pictures and drawings of it all over the islands, but the only places in the world where it grows naturally are Praslin Island, where we're staying, and Curieuse Island, which is so crazy. It's protected and it's very endangered. It's supposed to taste really, really good, but you're not allowed to eat it. That's just stories from before it was protected.
And the bathrooms over here don't have a men's and a women's, but on the women's door.
So I'm guessing that's the women's bathroom?
That's the women's. I went in the other one and there was urinals, so that's definitely the women's. They get really excited when you come over with leaves.
You're so funny.
That tortoise is just as big as you.
It probably weighs more than me. I hope. The pandemic hasn't been good to me.
Oh, they've got numbers on them too. This is number 29.
You do have to be careful of the tortoise poop though. There's quite a bit over here.
They have a nursery for some of the baby turtles that are under 5 years old here.
Tortoises.
Baby tortoises, and we found some that must have just been born because they're like smaller than the palm of my hand. They're so tiny. I had no idea that they were that small because they grow to be so big. These are like normal size turtles right through here, except these little ones, they're like this big. They're so tiny. You guys. Oh, he got tired.
They have some Coco de Mer shells over here and some old tortoise shells, which is pretty cool. The tortoises, when they hatch, they're electronically tagged. Check out your bags when you leave and everything, so you can't take any off the island. They're very protected here. These tortoises have the right idea.
It's hot out here. Find a nice spot in the shade and go to sleep.
We found a youngin' in the wild. Hi. He's like a Gen Z tortoise. So what should we name him?
Braden.
Jaden.
If it's a girl.
Something Din.
If it's a girl.
Kennedy.
These rocks are what really separates the Seychelles from other tropical islands.
Yeah.
So cool. Big old spider right there.
What? Oh my god, I almost walked into that. Face first. That's not cool.
It isn't super hot out here, but it is very, very humid, so we are just drenched in sweat.
Very sweaty. Sweatier than I'd like to admit.
Yeah, so we're gonna hop in the water and hopefully cool down a little bit. Some cool photo opportunities when I was climbing around on these rocks after swimming. Try to get up there with the camera and snap a couple pics.
So far, this is the most laid-back tour we've ever been on. Pretty much just came here, and then our guide was like, you're on the island for like 3 hours, so just do whatever you want. And a little later, we're gonna have a barbecue lunch, which I am more excited about than I care to admit. Lunch on these tours are always so good because they're like fresh made and made by locals. One of the best tour lunches we've ever had, I think, was on Moorea, where we made our own poisson cru. That was so much fun. Yeah.
I still think about that.
So every time I'm like, ooh, there's lunch on a tour on an island, that gets me really excited, guys. But there are a couple hiking trails on this island. Tropical hiking isn't usually my favorite thing because it's so hot, but there's some cool mangrove forests with some more wildlife.
There's actually a lot of hiking trails on the island. There's some that you can walk all the way to the other side. Take you like an hour and a half, and in this heat and humidity, I don't think that would be super enjoyable. So we have opted to just hike to the nearby mangrove forest, and then after lunch, we're gonna take a boat to the other side. Yes, we found it.
The longest boardwalk in the Seychelles.
Woo!
You can hear them. There are literally thousands and thousands of these crazy snails. They're big. I mean, I'm sure like dead snails too, but there's a lot of alive ones.
Yeah, there's literally thousands of them.
Nope.
How big is that?
That's a pretty big spider.
Probably, legs included. Big as my fist, not including my fingers. Ooh, nasty.
Oh god, oh god, oh god. All I need is for a giant spider to fall on top of my head and then I'd fall into a pit of snails. Since this is one of the only places on Earth that the Coco de Mer grows naturally, the sailors and explorers from a few hundred years ago set fire to Curieuse Island. They burned a lot of it down because they thought that that would make it easier to find the Coco de Mer. A big effort has been made to restore the native plants and animals to this island. Got a feast for us. We have some mango, potato salad, mixed salad, chicken, fish, rice with a Creole sauce. So excited.
They give you a Creole sauce and a lentil sauce. Super flavorful, not too spicy. Pretty excited.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. Oh man.
It's so good.
So good. Oh yeah.
This mango salad. Mango is one of my favorite fruits. I've never had it like this before. It's like shaved, and I'd say it's not quite ripe yet, so it's a little bit crunchy and not as sweet, but still a little bit sweet. And you add a little bit of salt from me sweating into my food, and it's just so flavorful and good. I think I might make this at home.
So they had these nets that were covering the food. I assumed that they were for the flies to just keep it off of the meat and the fish. But what I think it really was to keep the birds off. There are just birds on every rafter up here, just waiting for an opportunity. Some guy at another table stood up for a second, and about 50 birds just landed on his plate. They're really colorful and pretty cute, but man, you gotta watch your food. Also, that fish was probably some of the best fish I've ever had. It was super fresh. I asked the guy what kind it was. He said it was jackfish, and it was caught this morning.
We had to spend a little more time with the tortoises before we leave. They're so cool. When are you ever gonna get a chance to hang out with wild, giant tortoises?
And they're so curious and friendly too. Yeah, they'll walk right up to you and follow you around and look you right in the eye. It's really neat. Back on the boat. They're so cute.
So we've come to the other side of the island, and this is a beautiful beach called Josie. He doesn't he's not listening. I don't know if that's right, I hope. There's ruins of the leper colony on the side and also the preserved doctor's house. We're gonna get out and swim. The water is amazing on the side. Yeah, no urchins we have to worry about. And we saw a sea turtle and some stingrays. Pretty good day.
Had a nice little swim, and now we've walked over to check out the doctor's house. Like Kelly said, it is under construction, so you can't go in, but it's still pretty cool to see from the outside.
The doctor's house is a good example of colonial architecture of the islands. The Seychelles were a French colony for a little while, and they retained like the French language and the French influence, but they eventually became a British colony and they gained their independence in the 1960s or 70s. And there's a lot of East African influence, as you can imagine, so it's an interesting melting pot.
cut my finger.
How'd you do that?
I was flying the drone from the boat and it said low battery, so I returned it back. And I've launched this drone ever since we got it in Iceland from my hand every single time and landed it on my hand every time. And for some reason this time it like kind of turned sideways. I thought it was gonna fall in the water, so I grabbed it and I cut my finger. And it's my middle finger too, so that's pretty funny. This looks a lot worse than it is, just bleeding a lot because you know how fingers are, so it's all good. Nothing a little super glue won't fix. On our way back, we drove past this abandoned resort. It's been closed for about 10 years. Pretty cool. You can see all the old buildings, the old dock, everything just collapsed. Apparently, it was owned by the Italian mob, and they all left, and they left absolutely everything. So a lot's still left over that hasn't been taken by other people on the island. That was the pool?
The pool and the main restaurant behind.
Wow.
Nice structure with the roof, huh?
Yeah, it's held up.
How's that AC feel?
Oh, it was so good. I didn't know how amazing it would feel until we walked into it, and both of us just went, oh. It wasn't as hot as I expected today, probably because we were jumping in and out of the water. We were on the boat, which had a nice breeze. We really enjoyed our tour. Totally our style of tour. We normally like to take a little more time to take photos and kind of enjoy the place we're at. So our tour guide was really awesome at that. His name was Bertraund, and if you want to book with him, we will link his WhatsApp and his email in the description. So be sure to check that out if you're interested. He was really great. We couldn't have been happier with that.
Yeah, we had a really great time. It didn't hurt that we were the only people on our boat. It was a private tour by happenstance. We didn't specifically book a private tour.
And a lot of the tours include snorkeling at St. Pierre, which is that little island that we went by in the beginning. That would have been cool, but I feel like we would have arrived at Curieuse Island a little bit later, and it was really nice to have it all to ourselves.
So we booked through our accommodation. We just asked the front desk and they booked it, took care of it for us. Full day Curieuse Island tour with the barbecue lunch, 95 euros a person. You can do without the barbecue lunch, you can do half day, you can do
full day with the snorkeling, but that's the one that we went for, and it was really nice. It looks like there's a pretty big thunderstorm coming our way, so I think that's gonna be it for this video. Tomorrow we are renting a car and we're gonna be exploring the rest of the island.
Don't forget to hit the like button and drop a comment below. It really helps to support us, and we will see you tomorrow. This is Kelly and Kevin from the Awkward Tourists. Peace out.
You definitely just kind of drive in the middle of the road because the roads are very narrow, and then you move over when a car comes or a giant bus. Piece of cake.
Oh no, it's fogged up. Dang humidity. Happy I feel like this is how I look when I eat a spinach salad.
Hey. 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 Everything's cool. Don't worry about it. What was the name of the beach again?
Anse Saint-José.
Anse Saint
José.
José.
Anse Josie.
Saint José. José.
Anse
José.
Beach.
Saint
Anse
José.
Anse José.
Anse José.
Anse José.
Okay.